Hello everyone. In this video we will be discussing about the working principle of a reciprocating pump, calculation of work done by the reciprocating pump and its efficiency. So a reciprocating pump is a positive displacement pump. Okay, so positive displacement pump means a volume of fluid is displaced by some mechanical element. So in the case of reciprocating pump, we know for any pump generally there should be a negative pressure at the suction side and a positive pressure at the delivery side. Okay, so this is suction side and this is delivery side. So in the case of a reciprocating pump, the negative pressure at the suction side and the positive pressure at the delivery side is created by the reciprocating motion of the piston or a plunger inside the cylinder. Okay, so this movement of the piston is done with the help of an electric motor or an internal combustion engine. Okay, so the rotary movement of the motor or engine is converted into the reciprocating movement of the piston or plunger with the help of a connecting rod and crank. So this is similar to the case of IC engine where the reciprocating movement of the piston is converted into a rotary movement with the help of a crank and a connecting rod. Here the reverse happens. So let's see what are the basic parts of the reciprocating pump. So first of all we have a cylinder. So here you can see the cylinder. Okay, this is a cylinder and inside the cylinder we have a piston. So this hatched portion is the piston and then there is a piston rod. So piston rod actually connects the piston and the connecting rod. So this is the piston rod. Then we have a connecting rod and the connecting rod connects the piston rod to the crank. Okay, so this is the crank and we have a crankshaft. So into the crankshaft an electric motor is connected. Okay, a motor is connected to the crankshaft, either a motor or a IC engine. Then we have two pipes. This one is called the suction pipe. Okay, so suction pipe usually is dipped into a sump. So the sump can be it can be a well or it can be a river from where we are pulling out the liquid. Okay, then we have a delivery pipe. So the delivery pipes delivers the liquid from the pump into the desired height. So inside the delivery pipe we have a delivery valve. Okay, at the starting point of the delivery pipe we have a delivery valve. Similarly at the end point of the suction pipe we have a suction valve. So this delivery valve and the suction valve are non-return valves. That means they will allow the flow of liquid in only one direction. So in the case of a suction valve, the liquid can enter only in this direction from the suction pipe into the cylinder. So liquid cannot flow back from the cylinder into the suction pipe. So similarly in the case of a delivery valve, liquid can flow only in this direction from cylinder into the delivery pipe. So liquid cannot flow from delivery pipe into the cylinder. Okay. Then we have a strainer. So strainer is actually strains out any suspended objects such as leaves or wooden pieces, etc., so that those pieces are not trapped inside the pump. So these are the basic parts. Now let's see how this pump works. So we know that we have a motor or IC engine connected to the crankshaft. So when the motor rotates, the crank will also rotate. Okay. Suppose the crank rotates clockwise. So when the crank rotates clockwise from point A to point C through B, the piston moves from this point to this point, from left to right. If the crank rotates clockwise, then the piston moves from this point to this point towards right. So that creates a stroke of a piston, and that stroke is known as suction stroke. So when the piston moves towards right, we call it a suction stroke. So during suction stroke, what happens is a vacuum is created inside the cylinder. So we know that the delivery valve is closed. It will not allow liquid from delivery pipe into the cylinder, but the suction valve will open and liquid from sump will go through the suction pipe into the cylinder when piston moves from this point to this point, okay, during suction stroke. So now the crank is at this point. Now during the rotation of the crank from C to A through D, what happens is piston moves from this point to this point, okay, and that is known as delivery stroke. Okay, so during delivery stroke, what happens is the pressure inside the cylinder increases. And due to this high pressure, the delivery valve opens. The liquid cannot flow into the suction pipe because the suction valve is closed. So through this opened delivery valve, liquid will flow into the delivery pipe. Okay, so this creates one revolution of the crank. So in one revolution of the crank, we have a suction stroke. In a suction stroke, liquid from sump enter into the cylinder, and then the another stroke we have delivery stroke, in which the liquid inside the cylinder flows into the delivery pipe. Okay, so during one rotation or one revolution of the crank or the motor, we have one suction stroke, liquid enter into the cylinder, and we have one delivery stroke. The emptied liquid from the cylinder is emptied into the delivery pipe. Okay, so during the operation, the crank will continuously rotate, and for every revolution we have one delivery stroke. So liquid will be flowing out of the delivery pipe intermittently. Okay, there is no continuous flow, no continuous flow. The liquid will flow intermittently. Okay, so the amount of liquid flows through the delivery pipe, or the amount of liquid delivered, will depend on the speed of the crank. It will depend on the speed. If the motor rotates at a very high speed, then more liquid will be delivered. Okay, then we have okay, and now let's review this working principle again. So we have two non-return valves, suction valve and delivery valves. So during suction stroke, when piston moves towards right, vacuum is created and liquid is sucked into the cylinder through the suction pipe. And during delivery stroke, piston moves towards left, suction valve is closed, and due to the high pressure, delivery valve is opened and the liquid is flowing through the delivery pipe. Okay, and the volume of liquid delivered is depends on the speed of the crank, and it is independent of the pressure. Okay. Then a strainer is used for restricting the entry of solid particles into the pump. Okay, now let's calculate the work done per second by the reciprocating pump. So let's assume the cross-sectional area of the cylinder is capital A in meter square. Okay, and the stroke length means the extreme left position of the piston to extreme right position of the piston. This distance is known as stroke length, and it is represented by capital L and measured in meters. Okay, let capital N be the speed of the motor. So N RPM. RPM means rotations per minute, number of revolutions per minute. So for every rotation, as we have already discussed, there is one delivery stroke. For every revolution, there is one delivery stroke. So for every revolution, we have capital A into L, area into stroke, meter cube of liquid will be delivered. Okay, so this is the total volume inside the cylinder. Okay, stroke into cross-sectional area, so that much liquid will be pushed through the delivery valve for one revolution. So the liquid delivered into the delivery pipe is capital A into capital L meter cube. Okay, so what is the amount of liquid delivered per minute? Volume delivered per revolution into number of revolutions per minute. Number of revolutions per minute is equal to capital L. So the volume of liquid delivered in 1 minute is equal to A into L into N. Okay. So now what is the volume of liquid delivered per second? You have to divide it by 60. So ALN by 60 is the volume of liquid delivered per second, which is known as delivery rate, represented by capital Q. So this is represented or expressed in meter cube per second. Q is represented in meter cube per second. Okay. So now the general equation for a work done per second for any pump is Q into W into H. Q into W into H, where Q is the delivery rate, which we have already discussed, expressed in meter cube per second. Small letter W is a specific weight of the liquid. So specific weight is equal to density rho of the liquid into G, which is acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so this density is expressed in kilogram per meter cube, and G is expressed in meter per second square. Okay, so H is the total head to which the liquid is raised. H is the total head. So H is equal to suction head plus delivery head. Suction head plus delivery head. So what is meant by suction head? Suction head is equal to the vertical distance from the center of the cylinder to the sump level. What is the level of liquid inside in the sump? That vertical distance is known as suction head. Okay, suction head represented by HS, and delivery head is the vertical distance from at the end of the delivery pipe to the center of the cylinder. Okay, this is expressed in HD, delivery head. Okay, so total head capital H is equal to suction head plus delivery head. Okay, so we have H, W and Q. So work done per second is equal to QWH. Q is equal to ALN by 60, and W is equal to rho into G, then total head H. So this is the work done by the reciprocating pump per second, ALN rho GH by 60. Okay, so if you are pumping water, then rho will be equal to 1000. Okay, 1000 kilogram per meter cube. So this raw value will be different for different liquids. Now what about the efficiency of the pump? Efficiency is equal to output divided by power input. So work done by the pump is the output. Work done by the pump we have already discussed, ALN rho G H by 60 divided by power input from the motor. So power input from motor can be expressed in watts. Okay, so power output by the pump divided by power input from the motor will give you efficiency eta. Okay.